Thunder cracked across the crimson sky as Elara Vale stumbled through the ruins, her hands trembling with power she did not understand. The air shimmered with burning magic, thick and alive, and her breath came in ragged gasps. Kael Rinor said, "You have to let go before it consumes you." His voice cut through the storm like a blade, desperate yet steady. The shattered tower around them pulsed with blue fire, each flicker revealing faces of ghosts long forgotten. Elara's heart pounded against her ribs, her eyes wide with disbelief as Lord Malric Dane stood before her, a cruel smile curving his lips. "You never belonged to the light," Malric said softly, and shadows twisted around his hands. Elara cried out, "You lied to me," as her magic burst outward, forming a wall of fire that split the earth. Kael reached for her, his cloak whipping in the wind, his gaze filled with sorrow and fierce love. In the rising smoke, Elara heard a whisper, not from the living world, but from something ancient, calling her name. She froze, fear clawing at her chest, as the veil between worlds began to tear. Rain softened into mist as dawn tried to pierce through the smoke. Elara Vale knelt beside a broken stone, her hands still trembling with echoes of the spell. Kael Rinor stood nearby, silent, his gaze heavy with things unsaid. "It spoke to me," Elara whispered, her voice shaking. Kael said, "What did it say?" The world around them was eerily still, as if holding its breath. The ground steamed with fading magic, and distant bells told in sorrow. Elara touched her heart, feeling the strange rhythm that no longer matched her pulse. Somewhere beyond the fog, she heard the same whisper again, faint but unmistakable, calling her name like a memory that refused to die. Her fear deepened, but beneath it flickered a strange pull, a promise or a curse she could not name. In the pale morning light, Elara walked toward the edge of the forest where mist curled around blackened roots. A faint melody hummed through the air, carried by the wind. She turned and saw him, Lucen Dre, the man from her dreams, standing among the ashes. His cloak shimmered faintly as though stitched from starlight. "You shouldn't be here," Kael said sharply, stepping forward. Lucen's eyes met Elara's, calm yet haunted. "I was drawn to the flame," he said quietly. The silence between them was tense, threaded with recognition neither could explain. Elara felt her heart shift, pulled between danger and longing. The forest groaned like a living thing, and for a heartbeat, it seemed to breathe around them. Night fell too soon, draping the forest in violet shadows. Saren Mira watched Elara Vale from across the flickering fire, her wise eyes reflecting the flames. "The power you felt, it's not new," Saren said gently. Elara frowned. "Then why does it terrify me?" The older woman stirred the fire, embers crackling like whispered secrets. "Because it remembers you," Saren said. Kael Rinor leaned against a fallen log, his expression unreadable. The fire hissed as rain began again, soft and steady. Magic pulsed faintly in the air, as though answering some silent call from beneath the ground. Elara's heartbeat sensed to it, unwilling yet bound. She looked into the flame and saw faces, hers, Kael's, and a shadow behind them all. By dawn, the forest lay quiet again. The air smelled of wet earth and fading smoke. Elara Vale stood before a stone arch half buried in moss, the air inside it rippling faintly. Kael Rinor said, "If you cross, there's no return." His voice broke slightly, though he tried to hide it. Elara reached out, fingertips trembling. "I have to know what's calling me," she said. Behind them, the world seemed to sigh, a quiet acceptance of what must come. Light shimmered through the arch like liquid glass. Kael took one step forward but stopped, the distance between them heavy with unspoken love. Elara turned once more, her eyes full of fear and resolve, then stepped through the veil as it closed in a whisper of light. Wind roared as Elara Vale stumbled out of the collapsing portal, landing on wet grass under a violet sky. The world spun around her, silver rivers, glowing trees, and whispers that crawled beneath the skin. Cale Renor emerged seconds later, sword drawn, his gaze sharp with alarm. "Something followed us," he said, scanning the shadows. A low hum spread across the clearing, too rhythmic to be natural. The air rippled, revealing faint silhouettes, creatures made of ash and memory. Elara's heart thudded as one leaned closer, its hollow eyes reflecting her fear. "Don't let them touch you," Cale warned, gripping her wrist. She felt the pull of unseen magic within, the same power she feared to unleash. A scream echoed through the trees, then silence, heavy and absolute. Elara whispered, "We're not alone here." And from the darkness, a second voice answered softly, "No, you're not." After the storm of light faded, Elara and Cale found shelter beneath ancient roots. A dim blue fire burned between them, soft and strange. Saren Mira appeared from the mist, her presence calm and steady. "You've crossed where few dare," she said. Elara stared at her, exhaustion etched across her face. "Do you know what's happening to me?" Saren's expression softened. "Magic remembers its own. It calls when balance is lost." Cale leaned forward. "Then why chase us?" Saren looked past him into the dark. "Because the veil is weakening." The words lingered like frost in the air. The forest rustled as if listening, and the faint hum of the unseen world grew stronger. Elara felt the strange comfort of purpose, but also dread. If the veil was failing, then something on the other side wanted through. They moved deeper into the forest where light fractured through silver leaves. Cale Renor walked ahead, silent, his hand occasionally brushing the hilt of his blade. Elara Vale watched him closely, sensing his unease. "You knew this place," she said quietly. Cale stopped but didn't turn. "Some memories are better left buried." Before she could ask more, the trees trembled and revealed a symbol burned into the ground. A spiral of flame shaped like a sigil. The mark pulsed with familiar energy. "It's his," Elara whispered, recognizing Lord Malric Dane's magic. Cale's jaw tightened. "He was my master once." The air seemed to vanish between them. Elara stepped back, heart racing. "Then you led me into his world." Cale's eyes darkened with guilt. "No, I'm trying to lead you out." The forest responded with a low, haunting rumble. By the time night came again, the forest had grown colder. Saren Mira guided them to a circle of stones etched with runes. "This realm feeds on memory," she said softly. Elara Vale traced the symbols. "Whose memory?" Saren's voice lowered. "All who cross without purpose." The firelight flickered against her lined face. "When I first found this world, I lost my name to it." Cale Renor glanced at her, surprise in his tone. "You were trapped here?" Saren smiled faintly. "We all are, in different ways." Silence settled. Then she looked at Elara with quiet gravity. "Magic doesn't take without offering something back. The veil chooses who may bear its cost." The words struck like thunder. Elara whispered, "And what if I can't pay it?" Saren met her gaze. "Then it takes someone you love instead." Sleep came to Elara Vale like a tide, pulling her under against her will. She stood in a void of silver mist, hearing whispers not meant for the living. Lord Malric Dane's voice slid through the air, smooth and venomous. "Every choice leads back to me." His silhouette emerged, surrounded by shadowy wings. Elara tried to run, but her feet sank into nothing. "Why me?" she cried. Malric smiled faintly. "Because your heart holds what I lost." A sudden blaze tore the dream apart, revealing Lucindre standing on the other side of a shattered mirror, reaching for her. His eyes were full of regret. "Don't trust him," he said. "The world fractured, and she woke with a scream. Kale Reiner was beside her, eyes wide. "What did you see?" she whispered. "Trembling, our future, burning." Morning light spilled through the clearing, soft and golden, as if the forest itself offered peace. Elara Vale sat beside a quiet stream, washing ash from her hands. Kale Reiner gathered wood nearby, his armor glinting faintly. "It almost feels safe," she said. Kale smiled, thin and tired. Moments like this lie. A rustle drew their eyes toward the trees. A stranger emerged, Elara Quinn, cloaked in silver, her smile disarming. "Travelers rarely survive the Vale," she said sweetly. Saren Mira's gaze sharpened. "She's no ordinary wanderer." Elara bowed slightly. "You wound me, wise one." Her eyes lingered too long on Elara. The stream darkened with reflected clouds. A chill brushed Elara's neck. Something unseen moved beneath the calm water. For the first time, she felt watched, not by Elara, but by her own reflection that blinked back a heartbeat late. Night found them around a small fire, sparks lifting into velvet dark. Elara Quinn spoke softly of paths unseen, her voice lilting like music. Elara Vale listened, drawn despite herself. "You sound like someone who's been here before," she said. Eara's smile faltered. "Maybe I never left." Kale Reiner frowned, watching them both. His hand hovered near his blade. Saren Mira whispered, "Trust costs more here than gold." Elara laughed faintly. "Then we're already poor." The laughter faded quickly. Elara reached out, brushing Elara's sleeve. "You have power you don't understand." The fire crackled louder, sending sparks between them like unspoken truths. Kale turned away, jaw tense. Elara felt warmth rise in her chest. Half fear, half curiosity. The moment hung fragile as glass. Then Elara said, almost tenderly, "When the Vale calls again, choose me." At dawn, the group reached a crystal lake, so still, it mirrored the sky. Lucindre stood on the opposite shore, pale and silent. Elara Vale froze. His presence filled her with longing and dread. "You're alive," she whispered. Lucin's eyes softened. "Alive." For now, Kale Reiner stepped forward. "He died in Malric's flames." Lucin smiled sadly. "Death bends to those who know its name." Saren Mira's staff glowed faintly. "This is not the same man you knew." Elara hesitated, torn between memory and warning. Lucin said, "You seek truth beyond the Vale, but have you asked what the Vale wants from you?" The question sliced through her certainty. Her reflection in the lake shimmered, two faces overlapping. One wept, one smiled. For the first time, Elara feared her destiny might belong to someone else entirely. The air cracked with thunder as Lord Malric Dane stepped from the forest's shadow. "My children, still chasing illusions," he said smoothly. Elara Vale's pulse hammered. Kale Reiner drew his sword. Elara Quinn moved between them, eyes gleaming. "Stop," she pleaded. But her tone carried a strange calm. Malric's smile widened. "You never told them, did you?" Elara looked away. "I served you once," she confessed. The world narrowed to a heartbeat. Elara whispered, "You led him to me." Eara's tears glimmered like glass. "I wanted to save you." Malric raised his hand. Shadows spilled across the clearing. Kale lunged, but the darkness struck first. The impact flung Elara to the ground, her scream swallowed by stormlight. In that instant, trust broke like brittle ice, and the forest answered with silence. Rain poured through broken branches as Elara Vale awoke beside the dying fire. Kale Reiner knelt nearby, wounded but breathing. Saren Mira tended him silently, her face pale with grief. Elara Quinn was gone, leaving only a torn silver ribbon. "She chose her side," Kale said bitterly. Elara's throat ached, or lost both. The world felt hollow, the colors muted. In the distance, Lord Malric Dane's laughter rolled like thunder fading. Saren whispered, "He won the first game, not the war." Elara rose, blood on her palms mixing with rain. "Then we ended on our terms." Her reflection in the puddle glowed faintly, eyes burning with new resolve. The veil shimmered in the storm's heart, waiting. She stepped forward, pain steadying her steps. Behind her, Kale whispered, "We follow the fire." Rain had stopped, leaving the forest drenched in ghostly calm. Elara Vale sat beside the dying fire, her reflection trembling in the wet earth. The silence was so deep it felt alive. Kale Reiner cleaned his blade slowly, avoiding her eyes. "It wasn't your fault," he said softly. Elara didn't answer. The world had changed shape, and she was still trying to recognize it. The broken ribbon from Nira Quinn's cloak lay beside her, shimmering faintly. Saren Mira whispered a quiet prayer, her voice a brittle thread. "The veil shows truth to those who've lost everything." Elara lifted her gaze. The wind shifted, and for a moment she thought she heard her mother's voice calling through the trees. Her heart clenched. Somewhere deep inside, something unlocked. The air around her shimmered, revealing faint whispers of faces long gone, waiting to be seen. The whisper returned that night, carrying the scent of burning jasmine. Elara Vale's vision blurred, and suddenly she stood in a hall made of light and glass. Memories pulsed along the walls, her own yet not. Lord Malric Dane walked beside a younger version of Saren Mira, both speaking in hushed tones. "She is the key," he said. Saren answered, "Then the price will be hers." The memory rippled like water. Elara watched her younger self asleep on a stone altar, the veil swirling above her. "You sealed me," she breathed, realizing truth blooming cold and sharp. "To protect the realm," Saren's voice echoed from the memory. "You were never meant to awaken." The scent of jasmine turned to smoke. The hall shattered, leaving only Elara in the present, trembling. The veil had chosen her once, not as savior, but sacrifice. Dawn's first light burned pale across the forest. Saren Mira waited by the ancient stones, staff grounded, eyes hollow. Elara Vale approached, mud clinging to her boots, face pale with fury. "You knew," she said. Saren lowered her gaze. "I hoped you'd never remember." Kale Reiner stood between them, uncertain. "She deserves the truth," he said. Saren's hand trembled on her staff. "If the veil breaks, the world dies. You were born from its last fragment." The words hung like thunder. Elara's voice cracked. "So my life was never mine?" Saren's eyes filled with sorrow. "No life ever is when bound to prophecy." The silence after her confession felt heavier than betrayal. The forest leaned closer, listening. Elara took a single step back, her magic flickering across her skin. For the first time, she no longer sought guidance, only truth. In the ruins where it all began, Lord Malric Dane waited amid falling ash. The air shimmered with power. Elara Vale stepped into the clearing, cloak torn, eyes burning. Malric smiled, calm and unbroken. "You've come to hate the wrong ghost," he said. "You think I stole your destiny. I only revealed it." She trembled, fists clenched. "You destroyed my world." Malric's voice softened. "No, I freed it from lies your mentor built." Kale Reiner raised his sword, but Malric ignored him. "The veil is not a prison. It's memory itself. You are its echo made flesh." The words hit like cold water. Elara's pulse faltered. He stepped closer. "Break it," and the world remembers everything it tried to forget. The storm above them stilled, listening. Truth and deception blurred until they felt the same. Nothing she knew remained certain. The storm broke at last, washing the world clean. Elara Vale stood at the heart of the ruins, drenched in rain, lightning flashing around her. Her breath came steady now. Sarah and Mira knelt nearby, eyes filled with quiet resignation. Cale Reiner's voice was low. "What will you do?" Elara looked to the horizon where the veil shimmered like dawn. "The truth can't be hidden anymore," she said. Her voice trembled but didn't break. She felt no hatred, only clarity. "So this was the truth all along," she whispered. Light poured from her hands, soft and endless, mending what was broken. The air stilled. The storm paused as if holding its breath. In that silence, Elara became what she was always meant to be. Not the weapon, but the bridge. The veil pulsed once, glowing brighter, awaiting her choice. The world held its breath. The ruins stood still under a bruised sky, lightning crawling across distant clouds. Elara Vale felt the air crackle with power as her heartbeat echoed louder than the thunder. Cale Reiner stood beside her, every breath measured. "He's close," he said. The wind answered with a low hum, carrying the scent of ash and rain. The stones around them pulsed faintly, reacting to unseen magic. Sarah and Mira tightened her grip on her staff, whispering, "The veil trembles." Every shadow seemed alive, waiting. Elara closed her eyes, steadying the storm within. "We end this tonight," she murmured. The light dimmed suddenly, swallowed by darkness too thick to be natural. Then came the sound, slow, deliberate footsteps. Lord Malric Dane had arrived, and the silence before impact was absolute. Lightning struck as Malric Dane stepped forward, his cloak unfurling like smoke. "You can't stop what you are," he said. Elara Vale answered. "Then I'll become something you can't control." Their voices clashed with the thunder. Cale Reiner moved first, blade catching the light, but Malric's hand raised, stopping him mid-motion with invisible force. Still protecting what's already lost, Malric sneered. The ground split, blue fire spilling from its cracks. Sarah and Mira shouted a chant, her voice trembling. Elara's power burst from her palms, ribbons of light twisting through the air. For a heartbeat, time itself bent. Sparks met shadow, and the forest screamed. Malric's laughter echoed through the chaos. "You destroy what you wish to save," Elara cried. "Then let it burn." The world erupted in white flame as the battle began. The battle raged, blinding light and black smoke, twisting as one. Cale Reiner fought through burning rubble to reach Elara Vale, who knelt, drained and trembling. Malric's power gathered like a storm. Sarah and Mira stepped forward, voice calm despite the chaos. "The veil can be sealed again, but it will take a life." Elara's eyes widened. "No," but Saren smiled softly. "It has to be mine." Time slowed. The storm dimmed to a heartbeat's pause. She pressed her staff to the earth, whispering ancient words. Light poured through her, brilliant and pure. "Remember balance," she said, as her body dissolved into glowing dust. Silence followed, heavy and eternal. Cale dropped to his knees, his voice breaking. "She gave everything." Elara touched the fading light. "No," she whispered, "she gave us a chance." Elara Vale rose, her eyes glowing with a calm fury. Malric Dane advanced, power radiating like molten light. "You can't win," he said. She answered, "I'm not trying to." Her voice carried through the storm. She lifted her hands, drawing the broken magic Saren left behind. The ground trembled as blue lightning surged through the ruins. Kale Reinor shielded his eyes, shouting, "Elara, stop!" Malric's laughter faltered. "You'll destroy yourself," she whispered. "Then the world will live." Light exploded outward, colliding with his darkness. Fire met water, scream met silence, shadow met dawn. Malric staggered, reaching toward her, but the veil split above them, releasing a flood of brilliance. The shockwave hurled Kale back as the storm shattered into stillness. Malric fell, swallowed by his own creation, and the world stood reborn in quiet ruin. Dawn broke over a world remade. The storm was gone, leaving a soft gold haze over shattered stone. Elara Vale stood alone among the ruins, her body marked by faint light scars. Kale Reiner limped toward her, blood on his sleeve. "It's over," he said. She shook her head. "No, it's beginning." The veil shimmered faintly above them, peaceful now. The air was warm again, almost kind. They stood in silence, listening to the hum of reborn magic. Elara knelt, pressing her hand to the soil. "She's still here," she said softly. Kale placed his hand over hers. "Then we carry her light." A faint breeze stirred, lifting the dust like glowing fireflies. Elara looked to the horizon where sunlight bled through cloud and shadow alike. One tear slipped down her cheek. The price of peace finally paid. The world had gone still. Smoke curled from broken stone like ghosts reluctant to leave. Elara Vale stood amid the ruins, her chest rising slowly, breath catching between exhaustion and disbelief. The wind carried no screams now, only the distant murmur of rivers reclaiming their voice. Kale Reiner lay nearby, his head resting against a fallen pillar, eyes half open but alive. "We're still here," he said softly. Elara's gaze drifted to the horizon where the veil shimmered faintly, its glow calm and pale. The silence pressed down like memory itself. She knelt, fingers tracing the ground that once burned with power. Every heartbeat felt like an echo of someone lost. She whispered, "Saren, you kept your promise." The sun broke through, timid and golden, revealing a world both scarred and reborn. By noon, the light had softened, gentle and warm. Elara Vale wandered through the remnants of the battlefield, her steps slow and uneven. She could still hear the echoes of voices, Saren Mira's chant, Lord Malric Dane's final cry, Kale Reiner's desperate call. They played in her mind like broken music. Her reflection in a pool of water trembled, fractured by ripples. "All that power," she whispered, "and it couldn't save everyone." The water shimmered, showing flashes of faces, Nyra Quinn's tearful smile, Lucindre's sorrowful eyes. She blinked, and they were gone. The silence felt sacred, not empty. A bird called from the distance, its voice fragile but real. Elara looked up, feeling the sun on her face. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel hunted, only human. As dusk fell, the air thickened with memory. Elara Vale walked alone through the clearing where shadows stretched long. A faint shimmer moved ahead, coalescing into form. Lucindre stood there, pale and ethereal, his cloak fluttering like mist. "You shouldn't linger," she whispered. His voice was soft, like wind against glass. "Neither should you." For a heartbeat, the world held only their silence. "I failed you," she said. Lucin smiled faintly. "No, you freed me." He reached out his hand, passing through light and air. "The veil remembers love, not loss." The words lingered even as his form began to fade. Elara reached toward him, her hand trembling. "Goodbye, Lucin." His smile remained as he vanished, leaving warmth in the place he stood. The first stars appeared above her, calm and forgiving. That night, Elara Vale sat by the remnants of Saren Mira's staff, now cracked but still glowing faintly. The wind whispered through hollow stones, carrying her mentor's voice like a memory. Balance, Elara. Light and shadow share the same heartbeat. She closed her eyes, remembering Saren's calm smile, her unwavering patience. You gave more than I deserved, Elara said softly. A single tear traced her cheek, but she didn't wipe it away. Kale Reiner approached, sitting beside her silently, the glow from the staff reflected in his tired eyes. She believed in you, he said, even when you didn't. Elara nodded, the weight of those words grounding her. Then I'll carry her truth forward, she whispered. The staff's light pulsed once, like a farewell, or perhaps a blessing. Morning came quietly, the sky painted in soft hues of silver and rose. The veil hovered faintly above the horizon, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. Elara Vale stood at the edge of the clearing, cloak fluttering in the cool wind. Kale Reiner joined her, his wounds bandaged, his gaze steady. Where will you go now? He asked. She smiled faintly. Wherever the light touches the shadow. Her words carried no fear now, only acceptance. She raised her hand toward the horizon, feeling warmth brush her fingertips. The veil shimmered once, acknowledging her peace. Kale said, "Then this isn't an ending." She turned to him, eyes bright with quiet strength. "No, just the part where we start again." Together, they stepped forward as sunlight spilled across the land, washing away the remnants of war. Morning light drifted softly through the shattered forest, brushing the ruins with gold. The world no longer screamed. It breathed. Elara Vale stood alone where the veil once tore, her cloak fluttering in the gentle wind. The silence carried weight, the kind that follows endings. Kale Reiner approached, his steps quiet, his eyes tired but kind. "It's over," he said. She looked beyond him at the horizon, where new light shimmered over the earth. "Nothing is ever over," she whispered. Birds sang faintly in the distance, fragile but alive. The soil beneath them steamed, warm again. The ghosts had gone, yet their presence lingered like memory in the air. Elara placed her hand on her chest and closed her eyes. A single question pulsed through her still heart. Was it worth everything they lost? Elara Vale walked through the remnants of what once was, charred trees now sprouting green, rivers flowing clear again. Each step echoed softly, as if the world remembered her tread. Kale Reiner followed in silence, the rhythm of their boots steady and unspoken. "We built something from ashes," he said. She glanced at him and smiled faintly, and learned how to live inside the silence. They reached the edge of the forest where the veil's light flickered like fading starlight. Elara paused, looking back only once. The ruins behind her glowed faintly, a memory refusing to fade. Then she turned, walking into the open plain where wind replaced fire and the horizon promised rest. The light followed her steps, dissolving gently into air. A farewell written by dawn itself. That night, under the silver glow of a full moon, Elara Vale found a shard of Siren Mira's staff buried in the earth. When she touched it, a whisper filled the air. "Balance lives where love endures," Saren's voice echoed gently. Elara smiled through tears. "You always find a way to be heard." Kale Reiner watched quietly from a distance, his face softened by moonlight. The sound faded, leaving only the hum of the veil far above. Elara placed the shard into the ground again, letting the earth reclaim it. "Rest now," she whispered. A soft wind stirred, and for a heartbeat, she swore she heard Lucendre's laughter carried on the breeze. The world felt full, not empty, their voices now part of it. The truth was not gone. It had simply changed shape. Days passed quietly. The land healed and life began to stir. Small villages rose again near the riverbanks where nothing had lived before. Children laughed in the distance, their voices like new melodies over old wounds. Elara Vale and Kale Reiner walked through one of these small gatherings. A villager offered bread, smiling. The Vale's blessing returned, they said. Elara exchanged a glance with Kale, their eyes saying more than words. The people would never know the price, and maybe that was mercy. The sun dipped lower, painting gold across their faces. Kale whispered, "We did it." Elara's voice was soft. "We simply began again." They kept walking, the sound of the river rising behind them, life moving on, unafraid of shadows. At twilight, Elara Vale stood on the hill where the veil shimmered faintly across the sky. The wind lifted her hair as she looked into the fading horizon. Kale Reiner remained behind, watching silently. She raised her hand toward the light, her fingers tracing its edge. "Every ending holds its echo," she whispered. The veil flickered, answering with a pulse of soft blue radiance. For a heartbeat, the air smelled of rain and jasmine, the scent of beginnings. She smiled gently, tears glinting like glass. "Truth doesn't die," she said softly. "It remembers." As the light faded, her silhouette merged with the horizon, calm and complete. The world exhaled one final time. The story closed not in silence, but in the quiet rhythm of the veil, breathing, waiting, eternal.